So, about Visual Studio Code. Let's walk through the program as it is. The utmost left column, there's one very important button called the Explorer. You can open and close the Explorer, and the Explorer is a visual representation of all the folders and files that you have. So you can use your mouse to go through there, click on a file, and you see it in the editor. So that's the Explorer. There's more buttons like CS50 debugger, etc. But those are not really important. One more important button is the Manage button, where you can change the color theme, and your own account button, where you can see that you're connected via GitHub. You don't have to do anything with that. All you need is the Explorer button. And now that we're at it, you see files and folders. And as a demonstration, I can place a new folder, foldertje, and there's a new folder, and I can make a new file into foldertje something.c, and there I have something.c, and it's open, and I can open it and close it, etc., like in a normal computer. To be precise, what you are operating here in this Visual Studio Code is a Linux computer. But opening my something.c doesn't mean that I'm operating it. I'm only editing it, so I can type text into it. I can type text into cache.c here. But in order to run it, I need to operate Linux in a different way, and that is via the terminal. Now, before we start working in the terminal, let's close it. You might find yourself in a situation without a terminal. In that case, just right-click on a folder or a file and choose Open in Integrated Terminal. And then you're in the terminal. And you're also in the right folder in this terminal. So if I want to go to have a terminal in the folder Movies, I say, okay, open my folder in Movies. Now you see the path is in Movies. You also see that I have more than one terminal, and give it time and you will have 20 terminals active. You can close them here with the little kill button. But you need to be in this folder in your terminal to operate it, to operate cache. So now I can do make cache, because I am in the cache folder and my cache.c is also in the cache folder. Let's go back to this terminal on how to operate it without the Explorer, because you can operate a Linux computer completely without the Explorer. There's a command called ls, meaning listing, and then you see all the contents of the folder cache. One of the files is called cache.c, then there's a file called cache, asterisk, and there's blue a folder. And if I want to go into that foldertje, I do cd change directory foldertje. Now you see that I'm inside the foldertje, and with listing I see the contents of foldertje. Now the way up from foldertje to cache is that, and the way up from cache to what we call the root of our code space is cd space ... So now I'm in the root, and when I do listing again, you see all the folders that you see in your Explorer are also in your terminal. So if I want to compile cache and I do make cache, then it will say, okay, I will make cache, but in fact there is no cache here, so it doesn't do anything. And when I want to run cache, it says, well, it's a directory. Of course, there is no file called cache, so it cannot compile anything called cache. So we have to go into cache, and then we can say make cache, and then we can actually run cache. Oh, I have to do it the proper way, cache without, yeah, and it says 0 because I didn't put any money in it. Now, having said that, the next step, when you finished your assignment, cash or credit or whatever, you have to test it and submit it. And of course you do your own testing, you try something and it works and you say, yay, I'm happy it works. But testing is of course not only about the question, does it work, but about the question, does it always work? Does it also work with very specific input? Does it also work with non-existing input, etc.? It's called testing. Let's use Recover for that purpose. So in my Explorer, I go to Recover. I can open the file Recover. It's not relevant for now, but if I want to run it, I have to change directory, Recover. There we have it. Make Recover. It runs, and if I do recover, I'm not going to do it because it takes a lot of time. It will, of course, do the job. Now for the testing. When we go to week 4, Recover is part of week 4, to the problem set, Recover, you get the whole story, and in the bottom you will find a chapter called Testing. Now there are 2 tests available, and one is the style test. Style50, recover.c, because that's the file name. This will do a style test and it will show you where your style might not be appropriate. Like here I've made an indentation where Style50 thinks it's not necessary. It's in my comments, but it shows it anyway. So that problem is fixed now. It also doesn't like the spaces that I use. It's a bad habit of mine. Within the brackets, and if I save my recover file and do the Style50 again, you will see that it has nothing to nag here. Now, why is this style thing important? Not because we like a nice visual, but because it has a function. All these indentations have a function. Now, suppose that I remove my indentations, then of course the code would be less readable. You can't figure out where errors occur because you don't know how the nesting of loops or other structures is. You will also find that Style50 is really not amused. So it's pointing out here what's wrong in your styling. So, back to my recover thing. So I fixed it. If you fix something, you always have to do make again because you have to recompile it. Now the next test is a functional test. So it's a unit test in fact, but it really tries everything that can be tried in your code as input. And we do that with Check50. Now, in your GitHub account, you had to make a long token. Some of you might use the SSH way of connecting GitHub to Visual Studio Code. Some of you may take the long token. I use the long token because it never fails and it's simpler to set up. So for this, you will need your long token. So find your token, get it on your clipboard, and then do the Check50 command. And the Check50 command is always here, so you can simply copy paste it, do the Check50 command. It will connect, it will try to log in, and if you haven't done it already, it will ask for your personal access token of GitHub, paste it, and it will now verify, upload your code, test your code, etc. And this may take some time. So, testing is done. All green markers. What you read here is the tests that have been executed. So it tests a lot of things. It tests on always on the least possible value that can be put in, or the maximum possible value. It tests several things. You see green markers here. If there were red markers, something would fail during testing, and often it gives an extra hint on how to fix it. You also see a hyperlink, and if you copy and paste that in your browser, you get the complete test report. Two things here. One, this is a public link, no login required. This is the link that I want to see in your portfolio so that I can see your test report. Also, if you can't figure out some things and you say, okay, I'm happy with it, but there are some errors, please share this link. So here you have the test reports, a long log also where it tests just about everything. It's all happy, it's all green. So this is my test report. Now, if the testing is okay and the style is okay, you want to submit it. And for me, for this minor program, submitting is not necessary, but for the Harvard certificate, it is. So let's do the Submit50, and Submit50 is almost the same as Check50. Connecting, you have to give your token if you haven't already. Well, the token now is still in there, so it will verify, and then it's asking a question, do you want to submit it? And you also have to agree with the policy on academic honesty. And of course, we all write our own code, we don't copy-paste stuff, so yes, it'll upload, and then your code is submitted. Now you get another hyperlink, and this hyperlink is a personal hyperlink. As you see, users, cheeks, my login is in there, and I don't need to log in because my browser is already logged in to Visual Studio Code and to GitHub. And here I see the things that I've submitted recently, a few seconds ago and an hour ago. And when I go to 2022, I see other stuff that I submitted. I can go there. So, and when I go back, I also see the stuff that I submitted in 2021. This is your personal report. If you click on one of these things, you see the testing, you see where you are, recover.c. This is a fun thing. I submitted it a few times, and you get in GitHub in Me50, and you can even see your code here. Let's go to that later. One important thing, you also see your Style50 thing here, 78%, because not all my spaces were correct. You also see 6 out of 6 from the Check50 testing, and when you click on the Check50 link, you're back at this public link that you can share. So this is the Submit50, and everything you submit is here. You can resubmit assignments as many times as you like, also in any order that you like. So no specific rules there on how to submit it. Just submit whenever and whatever you want to. One more thing. When you go to GitHub, you will find Me50, what we just saw, with the previously submitted recover.c, and you also find code50. It's if you click on this little button here, you'll get to the root of your GitHub account, code50. And here you find all the same directories as in your Visual Studio Code Explorer. So if I go to cache, you even see my folderche and something.c, which is an empty file. But you should know this directory is not in your own GitHub account, it's in the Visual Studio GitHub account, and you only have access to it. So if you somehow lose your account, you also lose all of your code. And that might not be what you like. So maybe it's a good idea to, if you're happy with something, that you just download your project, and then you can save it on your own computer. So this was the Visual Studio Code. Good luck with it.